There once was a town called Mayberry, with Barney and Opie and dear old Lampy, Gomer and Floyd, and of course Ernest T. I wonder where are they now? The Mayberry sheriff, he wouldn't carry a gun. It wasn't exciting, oh, but boy, was it fun. Life was so simple and not on the run. I wonder where are they now? And I'm singing, thank you, Andy, for those happy days, for your front porch steps and your so easy ways. And I'm singing, thank you, Andy, for all the songs you used to play. And I'm wondering, where are they now? Oh, you taught us a lesson on those Monday nights, that part of self-respect was respecting others' rights, and life was loving, and those folks loved so nice. I wonder where are they now? Just like an old Joe South song, it makes you want to go home, but when you go back, you feel so all alone. The whole town's empty, even Otis is gone. I wonder where are they now? I'm singing, thank you, Andy, for those happy days, for your front porch steps and your so easy ways. And I'm singing, thank you, Andy, for all the songs you used to play. And I'm wondering, where are they now? And I'm wondering, where are they now? Yes, I'm wondering, where are they now?
The Andy Griffith Show.
Starring Andy Griffith. Hello, everybody. Good to see the chat room full of folks. I see, what do we got? We got 19 folks in there right now, looks like. It's good to see you guys. We're live on Facebook and on twochairsnowaiting.com. It's at live.twochairsnowaiting.com. So if you go to, if you actually are at or go to twochairsnowaiting.com, you'll see the live link right there in the middle, lighting it up right there. And you'll be able to join us right here in the chat room. So that's what you're seeing. If you're over on Facebook, you're seeing our chat room here. I know some of you guys can't get on some reason into here, so you're just visiting with each other over at Facebook, and that's great. Good to have you over there. Tonight's episode, we're going to be talking about the e-bullet for January 2019. I'm sure I'm going to say that wrong. I'm almost guaranteeing that I will say the wrong name in there because, you know, I'm still not used to it. So I'm pretty sure we'll end up with the wrong name coming out of my voice. So you guys just have to calculate it yourself so you'll know which year I'm talking about. So let's see what else is going on. Let's see who else is in the chat room. We got 21 folks in there. I see Joanne and Skinny Griffin, Asa, Indiana Steve, Brisket, Kentucky Mike, JL327, Hawkeye, Brim. Is that how you say your name? Brim? 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 There's no N in there. Emmett Clark, Miss Mayberry, Sarah Blaine, she's in here. Goober Fife, Susan, Roger, Mary Grace, and Karen Burgess, and about 6 anonymous folks are also in the chat room. It's good to see all you guys here. Good to have everybody back. Let's see here. Briscoe is healing up. Seeing that from Brisket. That's good. He's banned from walking on any slick places. So anywhere slick, he can't go. He can't go there. Let me see. I didn't check my lighting. Must be the lighting. I didn't check my hair either, but I guess it'll be all right. I'm not winning no beauty contest. So I hope everybody's had a good week. And hopefully you've already had a chance to read the e-bullet and get caught up on all the news that's in and around Mayberry. We got a few things that are not in the e-bullet, at least a couple that I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. So stick around to that and we'll talk about those. Events that are events, kind of events, I guess. I talked about them last week, so you guys know. Let's see. So anybody that's coming to either of the meetups, I will be talking about this as the show goes along. But I have set up forms so that you can go and fill them out. So definitely want to go do that. You should have gotten links in the Facebook pages. So you go and fill it out and we'll be able to find out, when you're coming, are you going to the depot and all that kind of stuff, to both the Mayberry meetup coming up in July and the Two Chairs meetup coming up in February. So you got forms, both of those. Yeah. Jan gets kind of, a little bit crazy. Yeah, that's what she's saying. She said crazy, so I guess I can say that. About not knowing how many people are coming to the different events. What? She likes numbers, and she likes talking from way off screen where I can't hear her either because I have earbuds in. So she's way back that way somewhere. She's hidden in the Weaver's department store over there, but we can't see her. So there she is, way in the background. But I can't hear you, though. That's what I'm saying. I have to take out my earbuds. You have to talk real loud for me to hear. I can hear she's saying something, though. So anyway, she gets crazy by not knowing who's going to be coming to the different events because there's food involved. We have to order stuff, get food and everything. So if you have any plans to attend one of those two events, either the 7th annual Mayberry meetup in Mount Airy or the Two Chairs No meetup here in Huntsville coming up in February, and July is the meetup in Mount Airy, please go over and fill out those forms so that we'll have some idea of who's going to be attending. All right. So I already know several. I forgot how many. I think there's about 13. There's more people than that, maybe 20 that have told us about one of them. I think the Two Chairs meetup, they're coming to that. So we got 13, probably about 20 people, maybe, I think. Maybe that's the meet. I can't remember. See, that's the reason you know to go fill out the form. But it does tell us and keeps up with that, and it'll help us when it's time to do. Mary Grace says her form's already been filled. So Jan will be happy with you, Mary Grace.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
She said, yes, I know. Thank you. She's watching it with eagle eyes. You got 2 stars. You got a gold star. Gold star from the teacher for filling it out. We've had 13 people fill out the one for the Mayberry meetup in Mount Airy. And we've had, let's see, the other one is the Two Chairs. Let me look. I'm looking. I've had 2 people. 2 people have told us that that's more than 2 people. It's 4 people total with 2 having filled out the forms for us. So that's good. And that's fine. I'm not really expecting that many people for the Two Chairs meetup. So we're going to have hopefully 10 or 12, 15, maybe. I don't know. Whatever we have, we'll have a good time, the ones that are here, and we'll visit with one another. All right, let's see. Kentucky might schedule to work both meetups and Mayberry days, but you'll be at the Mayberry in the Midwest, right, Mike? And I know Indiana Steve, and hopefully you guys can be at that. That's close to you guys. These events are mainly just for folks to try to be able to have an opportunity to get together and visit with one another. It's kind of what we do here virtually on Monday nights. And hopefully we'll be able to do it as well. Yeah, Newton said he did his for July.
Yeah.
You get a star too. You get a star from the teacher. You need to bring gold stars to the people. They're going to get a rude. If you don't fill it out, you get a rude. She said you get a rude. So if you don't fill it out, you get a rude. If you do, you get a gold star. All right, guys. Hey, you guys are going to be able to visit with one another. I see Mayberry in the Midwest is coming up. It's 114 days or something like that. I got an email this week from the folks in Danville. Let's see, 117 days, and that was on Sunday. So I guess it's 116 days until the Mayberry meetup. See, I did math. Look at that. I did it. Well, she said 117 yesterday, Steve. So I'm guessing it's 116 today. So is the motel filled up? Jan, do you know?
The one in Huntsville?
No.
Oh,
Mount Airy, I suppose.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
The Mayberry Motor Inn may or may not be full. We talked to them a couple of days ago because evidently we didn't have a room. We thought when we had scheduled to have the event that weekend, that kind of included getting us a room, but evidently we didn't have a room. So luckily Jan called and now we do have a room. So we're good. We're good. I was like, well, this will be a fine how do you do if I don't have a room at the hotel at the Mayberry Motor Inn. Oh, anyway. So let's see. And then there's here in Huntsville, there is a hotel as well that you can stay at. We got a room rate, a group rate until February 1st. So we'll talk about that at the end of the show if anybody's interested. And all the information is there on the event on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can go and check out the event that's connected to the Two Chairs No Waiting Facebook page related to the Two Chairs meetup that'll be here in Huntsville. And the information is all right there. Okay. Yeah, I had to get myself a room, Brisket. So actually Jan did it. I didn't. So luckily we're good to go. They flipped the books the first of the year, Floyd. So that's probably what happened, Jan. They lost the book. They didn't realize that they didn't flip us over. So let's see. I showed you guys this last week, didn't I? I like this. This is my little project I was working on last weekend. It's I haven't got them all finished yet, but we're checking that out, seeing if it's a possibility to have those at Weaver's. And of course, it wouldn't have the Alan Newsom Productions on there. I have multiple versions I've made. I'm bending it so you can try to stop the brightness. Anyway, maybe it'll have let's see, which way do I need to move it? Like the little trees you see at the end of the episode. That's what that is there right here on that corner. Anyway, those are pretty cool. I like them. I don't know if I'll definitely make the ones with Alan Newsom Productions on them for our patrons and folks who donate to the podcast. If you donate a certain amount of money or something, I'll send you a poster. We'll find out what that'll be. So Emmett said he saw one of those posters at auction for $39, but it was vertical. Oh, it was this way. Yeah, that's not the way Floyd's was. I saw some of the vertical ones when I was looking for this one. It's because they don't make them anymore, and there's no source that I can tell. So I'm thinking maybe we can do this. So I'm checking it out. I'm still trying to find out. I want to be legal. Don't want to get in any kind of trouble. But thus far, I feel like I'm pretty safe. All right, guys, let's get this show rolling. Let's see, I need to get us some background music. Don't want to do something different tonight. I always do the same. All the same music always. This one's too... That'll make me sleepy right there. I can do that one. That'll work. That's too much. What about this one? Big Swing Face. What about this one? This is Big Swing Face. I like that one. Kind of makes me want to move my seat. Don't go to jail. That's exactly right. Don't want to do something I shouldn't do. Yeah, I think I'll do this one. This one down here. All right, so we'll do that. All right, guys, I think we're ready to go. Sorry, I've just wasted all your time here at the beginning of the show. By the way, I'm Alan Newsom. If you are joining us live, it's good to have you with us here in Mayberry. We always gather here on Monday nights to have a good time visiting the chat room. That's what I was doing, visiting with the folks in the chat room there. And if you're over on Facebook, I don't know, I should have seen if I could get on the Facebook stuff to say hi to everybody. Facebook is always a little bit difficult for me because there's no good way for me to see. Here's what I see. I see me talking. There I am. Yay. Hey, there I am. And I'm always looking for the actual chatting, and that's not easy to see. I see there's 20. There's some number of comments. I just don't know how to read them. Bill's here, it says. There we go. Hey, Floyd from Scott Hopkins. Jeff Branch is over there. Anthony Sizemore says there's 18 comments, but I see only 4. That's always, I don't understand. I do not understand how to do this correctly. This is probably going to talk. Let me see if I can mute it. If it does. 4. There it was. Stopped. All right. So who else do I see over here? I see Joyce and Norm. There's Norm. Norm's over he's in the chat on Facebook. I see David and Earl and Doris and Janet. Let's see if I can show you guys what I'm seeing. This is the only way I can see it here, so it's not quite as smooth and slick. There you are. There's Jenny Boone over there. Anthony Sizemore. Who else is over there? David, I think I said them. Joyce Peter, Jeff Branch, Howard is checking in. Bill, and James Gilbert, and David Winton. It's good to have all you guys over there. Visit with one another and have a good time talking as we get ready to go on into the show. Okay. All right. So I'm going to head back out and get everything lined up, and I'm going to cover up the chat room and everything so that I can do the show, because I can't do it and look at you at the same time. It just doesn't work. I can't read and talk. That's my problem. All right, so here we go. Let's get this thing on the road. Me they are. I owe you. Wait a minute. It didn't record. Hold on. Let's try that again. Doesn't work if it won't record. I got to hit the right button. All right, let's try again. Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 514, The E-Bullet, January 2019. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at WeaversDepartmentStore.com. Drop by over at Weavers and check it out. We got some cool stuff over there, like the Mayberry pennant. It's getting to be baseball season nearly, so show your Mayberry pride and get you some Mayberry pennants, or maybe your football team's still in the playoffs. I don't know. Check out the Mayberry pennant for your very own. You also want to hurry and get it. The 2019 Andy Griffith Show wall calendar, still available. Head over to WeaversDepartmentStore.com and check it out. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners just like you. The executive producer of tonight's episode are Susan and Wynn Arnold. So thank you, Susan and Wynn, for supporting the show, and thank you for being here in Mayberry with me. It's always great to spend time in Mayberry with Mayberry fans like you. Yeah, I mean, why else are you here if you don't like the Andy Griffith Show? It's always great to just sit around and talk about the great things going on in and around the Andy Griffith Show. Tonight, we're going to talk about the E-Bullet. The E-Bullet is the official newsletter of the Andy Griffith Show Rio and Watchers Club. You hopefully know about this already and go out and read it and get it on your own. Though this is the January edition, and it came out quite a while back on January the 8th. Well, now we're coming in on January the 21st or 22nd when this will actually be published. And if you haven't read it yet, I wanted to make sure you're aware of it because it's important. So if you have already read it, hopefully you've already forgot some of it so that when I tell you about it, it'll be like it was new again. Because that would be if I was listening. That's how it would work with me. So hopefully it will work that way with you as well, and you'll enjoy this podcast episode. And we're not only going to cover that, we're going to hear from Randy Turner with This Week in Mayberry History. And this year, but this week he's going to be talking about Artie Johnson. Yeah, you know he's on the Andy Griffith Show? He was. You know who he is? Better question. But even if you don't, you will by the end of this podcast. So let's get some music going for our read over music, I guess, so that you can have a little music going. And let's go and check out the e-bullet for January 2019. 2019. Wow. It's amazing. So the e-bullet is written by our friends at the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club. Actually, it's Jim Clark, the presiding goober of the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club. And he puts together this amazing newsletter for all of us to be able to listen to, or to read, not listen to. You can listen to it. So this is our first issue of 2019. We began the year. We're still mourning the tremendous loss for Mayberry in the final month of last year, 2018. From Mayberry to Fort Courage, folks were greatly saddened by the passing of Ken Berry. Now, we did a podcast about that, so if you'd like to go back and check it out, please do. He passed away on December the 1st at Providence St. Joseph Middle School Center in Burbank, California. He was 85 years old. Ken Berry, wow, we really miss him. There's a great write-up here. As I said, we already did a podcast about this, so I don't want to go into it much, but he was in all the seasons, 78 episodes of Mayberry RFD, and he was in 4 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show as well. So Ken was a big part of Mayberry, the town. So even if you don't remember him very much from the Andy Griffith Show, because we don't get to see Mayberry RFD, Ken was on there in the color episodes. So go and watch the color episodes. There is some good stuff on the color episodes. But he basically bowed out of entertainment when he retired in the 90s. He was famous for being totally content and just staying home, enjoying the time with his friends and family, and learning about and tinkering with and driving cars and other vehicles. After decades of being on the road and flying all over the country to perform, he revealed in the fact that his retirement, just to take it, he just wanted to take it easy and stay home. That's what he wanted to do, and see what each day might bring him. He could rarely be coaxed to make public appearances, or really very many even private ones. Ken can never be persuaded to attend any of the Mayberry fan events like Mayberry Days. He knew he was always invited, but he gently declined. He simply had no desire to get on another plane or stay in one or more hotel rooms. In short, he had the opportunity to figuratively and probably sometimes literally just sit on the front porch and rock. No longer a man in a hurry. It's hard to get more Mayberry than that. Now, there was a published special edition of the e-bullet, Remembering Ken Berry. I definitely want to encourage you to go and read that. There will be a link in the show notes for this episode, or you can go over to imayberry.com, click the e-bullet link, and you can find it there as well, because the special editions are listed out. You will find them. So definitely go and check out Jim Clark's amazing write-up about Ken Berry. He was a great guy. President George H.W. Bush, who passed away the day before Ken, was known for his call to all of us to be kinder and gentler, and more gentler. He needed to look no further than Ken Berry, a true point of light, if there ever was one. Our deepest sympathies go out to Ken's family and his friends, including ex-wife Jackie Joseph, herself a member of the Mayberry family. So, Ken Berry, we miss you. All right, so let's go into the Floyd's Barbershop Bulletin Board. Now, I'm not going to go through all the things, but you can head over to imayberry.com, click on the event calendar, and you'll see these same events, plus some that may or may not have occurred or begun after the e-bullet was published. Okay, so you can go and check those out. There's always events over there. Mayberry events are happening all the time, especially in Mount Airy. Betty Lynn, on February the 15th, she'll be at the Andy Griffith Museum signing autographs. That's a Friday. Head over and see her. February the 28th through March the 2nd, they're going to have the 22nd annual George Lindsay UNA Film Festival over in Florence, Alabama. Never know who's going to be there. Guests are yet to be determined. So Betty appears the weekend, third weekend of every month. As long as she's not got a health issue or anything that's making her sick, she doesn't feel well, something like that. Well, that rarely happens. Betty is, she loves to greet the fans. She'll be there on March the 15th as well. And Karen Knotts on the 25th of March is going to be doing her Tied Up in Knots show in Provo, Utah. So if you need information about these, head over and check out the e-bullet and check these out. You can also check the event calendar at imayberry.com. Jim maintains both of these, so that's it's right information. I'm not going to go through every time that Betty's going to be at the Andy Griffith Museum, but basically it's the third Friday of each month. This is an interesting one I've never been to myself. May the 4th, May the 4th be with you. That's Star Wars Day. They have the 32nd annual Uncle Jesse Big Bass Classic. It was founded by Denver Pyle in Paris, Texas. The event helps raise money for Denver Pyle's children's charities. And it remains very active in the Paris community. So for information, there is a Facebook page and there's a link in the e-bullet for that. So if you'd like to go to that, if you live in the Paris, Texas area, might be a fun event to go to. It's more likely focused a little bit more on the Dukes of Hazzard since it says Uncle Jesse, but still might be a lot of fun to go to. Karen Knotts is going to be doing another show of her Tied Up in Knots at the Heritage Music Hall at Crown Center in Kansas City, Missouri for 4 shows. She's doing 4 shows there. Wow, that's from May the 9th through the 12th. So you might want to check that out. And the big event for the spring here, a big event, is the 6th annual Mayberry in the Midwest Festival in Danville, Indiana. The guests confirmed so far, they include Maggie Peterson, that's Charlene Darlin, Ronnie Shell, Duke Slater from Gomer Pyle, and he's on 2 Andy Griffith Show episodes as well. And Margaret Carey, Bess Muggins. She was on there in the Christmas episode. That's a good one to remember from. She was the wife of the guy who got locked up. Remember that? Guess this. Dixie Griffith's going to be there. Andy's daughter. She's going to be there. And George Lindsay Jr. Well, that's Goober's daughter, George Lindsay. They're going to be there as well. And the award-winning bluegrass band, the Graskels. They're going to perform a free concert Saturday night. Great event. They are working so hard to make this a real Mayberry event. The Graskels are huge Mayberry fans. I think I mentioned it last week, but they are huge fans. And we did an interview with a couple of the Terrys, the 2 Terrys, here on the podcast a few years ago. A link for that will also be in the show notes. So if you'd like to hear them talk about it, make plans to be at Mayberry in the Midwest, May the 17th through the 19th. Try to get there. It'll be a lot of fun. The bunch of the tribute artists will be there. I'll be there as Floyd the Barber. We're going to have Otis. I think I'm not even going to name them all because I'm not sure I'll be there. But we should have a crew of Mayberry tribute artists. And what they're trying to do, and they're seeing if they can, we're going to do 4 shows over the course of the weekend. It'll be on a Friday and a Saturday. And we might do 2 shows a day. They'll be shorter, about 30 minutes each. And we'll do 4 shows. We're going to try that, see how that works. And in the past, we've done a show each day, and this time we're going to do 2 shows each day. They'll be shorter shows, but 2 of them. Let's give it a try. We'll check it out, see how it works. It'll be more like an episode of the Andy Griffith Show, right? 30 minutes. We'll be out. So it'll be fun. All right, so if you can't head to that, hey, head over on May the 25th. I think it's probably the next weekend. Maggie Peterson is joining Rodney Dillard and the Dillard Band. They're going to be doing Bluegrass Underground. Have you ever heard of that? It's going to be billed. The show is billed as Mayberry Memories, the Andy Griffith Show celebration. It's at the Caverns, is the name of it, the Caverns in Pelham, Tennessee. David Browning, the Mayberry deputy, will also be on hand. Showtime is at 2 p.m. It's in a cave, so it's dark in a cave. So it doesn't matter what time you do it, right? The cave opens at 1 p.m. That seems unusual to say a cave opens, but a cave is opening. The cave is opening at 1 p.m., so you can come in. The showtime is at 2 p.m. The information, you go to thecaverns.com, and check it out. Bluegrass Underground. Now, they record these in the past. I've seen them on PBS, so maybe, fingers crossed, maybe these will be on TV at some point. That'd be cool to see, but don't take a chance. I'm going, and I think Otis may not be able to go, because I was laughing how it'd be just fun if we just went dressed as Otis and Floyd and just sat in the audience just to watch. I think it'd be funny, but I'm probably not going to get to do it. My wife won't let me. Anyway, next, let's see. Coming up in June, Neil Brower, who wrote Mayberry 101, the book, he's going to be at the Andy Griffith Museum there in Mount Airy. He's on June the 15th doing a discussion of the Fun Girls. Hello, doll. You know, the Fun Girls. It's going to start at 2 p.m. Now, Neil will be doing them throughout the summer, I think. I know he's doing them in June and July because he's doing that one on June the 15th. Betty will be signing autographs on June the 21st. And then the next time Neil will be there is July the 20th, which just happens to be the weekend that we're having the Mayberry Meetup in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Now, that's not in the e-bullet. You're getting breaking news. Well, it's not really breaking, but you're getting the news right here that the Mayberry Meetup in Mount Airy, North Carolina will be happening the 19th through the 21st. So that's a Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning, basically. So if you'd like to come, there's information out on the websites about this, and you can go and check them out. It's the 7th annual Mayberry Meetup in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Last year we had 80 to 100 people that showed up. This year, I don't know, but it's a lot of fun. We have a great time. All the fans from the show get together. We visit, we watch episodes in the evenings. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot slower than Mayberry Days. So it's, this is just like a primer. Don't let this replace Mayberry Days, but it's a fun one if you'd like to come to it. I've set up information. If you go to the Facebook page for Two Chairs No Waiting, if you go there, it's facebook.com/2chairs. And there's an event, and you can sign up, and you can get all the information right there about the 7th annual Mayberry Meetup, the weekend of 19 through 21 July. Now, the expectation is that Betty Lynn will be signing autographs on the 19th. Now, that was not in the e-bullet. That is not signed up in the e-bullet. But it's pretty sure thing that she will be, because she always does them that weekend. And Neil Brower will be doing his session as well on that Saturday. So we got two great things to do while we're in Mayberry during the meetup. So there we go. That's not really a commercial, but there's good information for you heading in. So go and get your hotel room quickly. It turns out Jan and I evidently didn't have a room until this weekend because we made plans for the Mayberry Meetup for us to go and be there and everything and when it would be, but evidently we didn't reserve a room at the Mayberry Motor Inn. That'll be our host for the weekend. So you don't have to stay at the Mayberry Motor Inn. If you're in the area, you can just come and visit us at the gazebo in the evenings. And or if they run out of rooms, there's other places to stay in Mount Airy. But if you can stay at the Mayberry Motor Inn, I recommend it. The folks there are absolutely wonderful. They're family, and I've honestly never stayed anywhere else when I go to Mount Airy. So, all right, okay, let's keep going. Neil Brower will wrap up his summer lecture series, which I was right, it was a series, on August the 10th. So if you can't make it to the meetup or you're in the area, maybe you can go. Or if you're in the area, you can go every time. He'll be there on August the 10th, and he'll be doing that week. That time he'll be doing Andy's English Valet. Oh, and by the way, the weekend that we're having the meetup, he's going to be doing the education of Ernest E. Bass, my mother figure. That's awesome because that's my chapter name here in Huntsville. Boom. This is awesome. It's meant to be. It was meant to be. I found. All right, let's keep going. Let's see. September the 19th and 20th, Karen Knotts will be performing Tied Up in Knots in Connecticut. I'm not sure where, but Connecticut's not real big. So it's got to be somewhere. So if you're in the vicinity of Connecticut, maybe you can go to that. We will have more information in the e-bullet as time draws near. Now the big event of the year. Sounds like a MMA fight or boxing, right? The big event. September 23rd through the 29th, the 30th annual Mayberry Days in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Tickets are available right now for the big weekend, including the concert by Rodney Dillard and the Dillard Band and a presentation of The Deputy's Daughter that Karen Knotts is going to do. Tickets are also available for the Emmett Golf Tournament and the dinner and entertainment featuring comedian Henry Cho at the golf tournament. Henry was there last year. Great time. Had a really good time. They're going to have concerts, and the tickets are available by Colin Ray. If you miss the Grascals, or if you love the Grascals, if you miss them at the Midwest, you got another chance right here. They're going to be at Mayberry Days. Get tickets to that. The VW Boys, who provide our music so often here on the podcast. Thank you to Tim White and the VW Boys. They're going to be putting on their show. Great show. The Embers are going to be there. Envision and the Legacy Motown Review, they're going to be there. There are going to be comedy performances by John Floyd. He's the mouth of Mayberry. And James Gregory, the funnest man in America. Tickets are available to Professor Brower's lecture, where he'll be talking to somebody or giving us some great information. He always does. And of course, Colonel Tim's Talent Time. Got to get tickets to come see it all. Mayberry Days. Make sure you're there. Now, also, that's not listed on here, there's going to be a Mayberry cruise this year. So definitely check that out. I will make sure the information is available in the e-bullet very soon. If you want to go on the Mayberry Cruise 2019, make sure you let us know. Or you can go over to facebook.com and you can go to, I believe it's just Mayberry Cruise. It's pretty easy to get to it. So it's not very hard to find if you're looking for it. Okay, so there's lots and lots and lots of fun stuff going on in and around Mayberry throughout the year. So the Mayberry Cruise is going to be November this year. So if you want to get tickets, you need to try to make sure you can go. The Mayberry Cruise is the weekend of the 2nd through the 7th. There we go. I had to look it up. Sam never stop. It's the Mayberry Cruise number 14. Wow. It's November the 2nd through the 7th, 2019. And you can get information about that. If you need help, you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com and I'll send you to the right direction to get those tickets as well. The e-bullet has so much information and it will be updated as we go with more and more. So let's move on to the news of cast and crew. Ron Howard, you may have heard of him. Ron Howard has been scouting locations, especially around Middleton, Ohio, for Hillbilly Elegy, a feature film based on J.D. Vance's bestseller. And there's a great picture of Ron where he was at the Triple Moon Coffee Company that's in the e-bullet while he was having lunch there in Middleton, Ohio, scouting for the film locations. The businesses, the manager was proudly wearing a T-shirt of Bob Ross, the painter. He was wearing that. And anyway, it's a great shirt. You need to check it out. Ron Howard in between the two. Appleseed, the last film that Rance Howard was in, has had some initial screenings with very good reviews. Filming of Rance's parts was completed shortly before Rance passed away in November of 2017. The movie, which also features Clint Howard, Leon, will hopefully have a wider distribution soon. Betty Lynn continues to hold court at Mount Airy's Andy Griffith Museum, as I mentioned earlier, the third Friday of every month. And there's a great greeting from Betty that's been posted by the museum. There's a link in the e-bullet if you'd like to go and watch that video greeting. It's a lot of fun. The beautiful oceanfront home of the late Jim Neighbors, Gomer Pyle, sold for $12 million on January the 4th. The new owner has not been announced. We don't know who it was. Margaret Carey was in Tampa Bay. Margaret Carey, we mentioned her earlier. She's going to be at Mayberry in the Midwest. She was in Tampa Bay in December for a Tinkerbell and Disney-related event. She also made some holiday appearances closer to home in California. Leroy McNeese, Leroy of the Country Boys, and his wife Jan, his wife Jan, they once again started off the Thanksgiving Day holiday with the LA Drumstick Dash for charity. Wow, can you believe that? They ran it. They participated on behalf of Hope of the Valley Rescue Mission. So there's a great picture of Leroy and Jan there. I guess the start of the race. They look way too happy and rested to be at the end of the race. If this is at the end of the race, I'm completely embarrassed that I get tired going to the mailbox. Great to see Leroy and Jan. Great folks. Jackie Joseph, Ramona Ankrum herself, my darn Romina, made the cover of the current issue. It's the December and January issue of the Pet Press. The story about Jackie puts a spotlight on her decades of work on behalf of animals, especially through pet adoptions and spaying and neutering and those kind of programs. Most notably, her work with Actors and Others for Animals. She's been very active, which is just one of the many worthy causes that Jackie supports. Jackie also continues to write a column for the Tulcan Times. I hope I said Tulcan right. It's Tulcan Times whenever the notion or an occasion promotes her to, including a recent article about a milestone birthday that she had in November. Now, we are sad to report the passing of actor Herb Ellis, who played band leader Bobby Fleet in The Guitar Player Returns, episode number 31 of The Andy Griffith Show. He passed away in San Gabriel, California on December the 26th. He was 97 years old. Born Herbert E. Siegel in Cleveland, Ohio, on January the 17th, 1921, Herb made his way to San Francisco, where he worked as an announcer and eventually an actor in radio, where he met and worked with Jack Webb. With Webb, Herb developed the concept for a new police drama, a detective show with Joe Friday character and what later became Dragnet, first for radio and then for television. Herb originated the role of Officer Frank Smith for the first Dragnet TV series in 1952. He and Jack Webb would continue to work on mini-series together, including The DA's Man, which Webb helped produce, and in which Herb co-starred as Frank Laval in 23 episodes. Herb was usually cast in the role of authority figures, particularly cops and lawyers. He had multiple and sometimes recurring roles in many TV series, ranging from Peter Gunn, Peter Loves Mary, and The Many Loves of Dolby Gillis, to Mod Squad, Hennessy, and Bewitched. Herb's feature films included Stanley Kubrick's The Killing in 1958, Billy Wilder's The Fortune Cookie in 1966, and The Party for director Blake Edwards in 1968. He also had a robust career doing voiceovers, including as the narrator of The Disappearance of Flight 412. And it was a 1974 made-for-TV movie starring Glenn Ford. He's all Glenn Fording it all over the place. So, for further reading about Herb's career, there's a comprehensive profile on Radio Spirit's website. It's a link to that was published for the occasion of Herb's 95th birthday almost 3 years ago. Even with all of that, Herb's accomplishments in his career, all that, he stayed in touch with Mayberry. In fact, he received our printed Bullet newsletter from the early years until its final issue in 2001. And while Herb wasn't the only actor to portray Bobby Fleet, not to mention or be confused with Freddie Fleet, he was the Bobby Fleet who successfully rehired Jim Lindsay. That's right. And Herb also showed gusto and style when keeping musical tempo with a rolled-up newspaper. Herb Ellis is survived by his daughter Karen and 4 grandchildren. He was preceded by Sylvia, his wife of 73 years, and their son Stephen. Herb Ellis, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. All right, so that's in the e-bullet. You go and check it out. There is no chapter news update this year. This year. This time. There have been no new chapters added to the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club since the last issue of the e-bullet. So if you'd like to start a chapter, there's a way to do that. And there's information about how to get one started. There's a searchable list at tagsrwc.com. And then you can submit your stuff. It tells you how to do it right there in the e-bullet. So go and check it out. There's a merchandise update, of course, from Weavers. We already talked about Weavers, but I've got to mention the Mayberry's Finest coffee. Mayberry's Finest, there's a breakfast blend, a Sunday morning breakfast blend. Otis Campbell's Better Than Home dark roasted coffee, and Mayberry Diner's decaffeinated coffee. Definitely want to check these out. Everybody that has talked to us so far have really enjoyed this coffee. I love the way it smells. I don't drink coffee, so I can't tell you. I've had too many people also that have ordered it. I've asked, how's the coffee taste? And they go, I don't know. I just wanted to, I wanted to collect it, which is great. You can collect the coffee, but we have more. If you could drink it, we can sell you some more. It's good. At least that's what the people that have drunk it have told me. So it's good coffee. Go and check that out. Make sure you get your wall calendar and all the other cool things. Let's go into some chapter news, and we'll roll this out of here from the e-bullet, as I am getting very long here on the talking. Last quarter of the year, especially around the holidays, is always a busy time for the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club chapters. Here's a couple of photos. So there's photos in here. Folks, it's a great photo. There's one of Whistling Dixie, is what Jim said it. Colorado Fishing Hole Whistlers chapter of Colorado Springs welcomed special guest Dixie Griffith, Andy's daughter, in the rocking chair there at a meeting in October. By all accounts, it was a rocking good time together. Now, you may have seen that already. Can't remember. May have been reported. The members of the Mayberry chapter in Knoxville, Tennessee, they have some great Mayberry-themed gifts that they exchange every year for Christmas at their annual Christmas party. The group also participated in a parade in nearby Carnes, Tennessee, and had a miniature golf outing to celebrate Jackie Joseph's birthday back in November. So they have a great chapter. Other chapters that reported in over the holidays having parties included a $1.25 chapter in New Philadelphia, Ohio, which is recently, they've already had a gathering in the new year. So they not only had a Christmas gathering since our last report from the e-bullet, they already had another one the beginning of the year. So they are on top of it. So congratulations. And they have another one scheduled for February. And we heard from the Barney chapter in Greensboro, North Carolina as well. And that's all the chapter news that we have right now. Folks, there's all kinds of fun. If you can't be a part of a chapter, you've got this podcast. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. There's also the iMayberry community that's spirited, controlled, run mostly by Colonel Harvey, Keith Brown, one of our Mayberry tribute artists, and I just kind of help a little bit. And he does most of it, but there's some great conversation going over at mayberrycommunity.com. You can go to imayberry.com, the letter I, Mayberry, and you can go and check it out there. Of course, check out imayberry.com while you're there. Lots of stuff, including links to Weavers, links to here at the Two Chairs No Waiting podcast. And maybe you don't know, there's also Burke on Mayberry. Burke on Mayberry was the very first Mayberry podcast. That's right, he started before me. I may have done more episodes by now, but Kevin started, he was the first Mayberry podcast. So let's thank Kevin Burke for Burke on Mayberry, and go check it out. And there are episodes of the Mayberry Bible Study podcast. I think I've done about 15 or 14, and there's only 2 more I can do because we're doing it with the the public domain episodes of the Andy Griffith Show is the only ones I could do. So I've got to get those done, but there's a bunch of already there. So if you want to go check it out, lots of fun on the web, including the Gomer Pyle Comic Book Literary Guild here over on Facebook. So go and check that one out too. Lots of stuff going on Facebook. Folks, go and check out the e-bullet so that you will not miss any of the fun going on online or anywhere else in Mayberry. Folks, we still have to hear from Randy Turner for this week in Mayberry history. So let's head over there right now.
Welcome to This Week in Mayberry History, a report by Special Correspondent Randy Turner of the Gomer and Cooper Pyle Comic Book Literary Guild of the Mayberry Historical Society.
Happy 90th birthday to comedian and actor Arte Johnson, who appeared once near the end of the second season of The Andy Griffith Show. Arte, whose birth name is Arthur, was born in Benton Harbor, Michigan, on the shore of Lake Michigan, west of Kalamazoo. Arte attended college at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, where his brother also attended. They appeared in College Theater Guild productions together, and Arte also worked at the campus radio station. After Arte graduated in 1949, he moved to New York City and worked for Viking Press. 5 years later, he began appearing in local nightclubs. He also began acting on the stage, first cast in a revival of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. In the hit Broadway play No Time for Sergeants, Andy Griffith had played Will Stockdale, and Roddy McDowall played his buddy, Ben Whitledge. After Andy had left the production, McDowall also soon left. Arte took over the role of Ben in his Broadway debut. Arte made his film debut in the 1954 musical Best Foot Forward. The following year, he made his television debut, appearing for the first time as Stanley Schreiber, a recurring character in the series It's Always Jan. In 1958, he played another recurring character in the short-lived comedy series Sally. And in 1960 and 1961, he played another recurring character in the drama comedy Hennessy. Over the next several years, Arte appeared in a variety of series, including December Bride and The Red Skelton Hour. He appeared in an episode of The Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. In a 1962 episode of Dr. Kildare, Arte appeared with Ken Berry, Olin Soul, Max Showalter, and Connie Sawyer, or as we know them in Mayberry, Sam Jones, John Masters, Ralph Mason, who bought Mayberry's dilapidated cannon, and Miss Blanchard of the Kansas City Chronicle, who researched Helen's past at Andy's request. In 1962, Arte also made his appearance in The Andy Griffith Show. In the March episode Andy and Barney in the Big City, Arte is the hotel clerk who assumes Barney is a doctor, since he signed the registry Barney Fife, M.D. That fall, Arte got his first regular role, co-starring in the comedy Don't Call Me Charlie, though the series lasted only 18 episodes. Arte gained his greatest celebrity to that point with his comedic performance with chilling undertones of a federal agent who blindly follows orders in the 1967 James Coburn film The President's Analyst. But it was his involvement in a revolutionary news show the following year that brought him his most career attention. Arte was part of the cast of Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In that premiered in the fall of 1968. For the next 5 years, he played various characters, but most famously two in particular. In one series of sketches, he was a German soldier always hiding in the bushes, who would observe about the preceding sketch, very interesting, and often added, but stupid. He also played a dirty old man in a series of sketches, who would sit on the opposite end of a park bench from a spinster played by Ruth Buzzy. He would scoot closer to her while coming on to her with ridiculous dialogue, inevitably resulting in her hitting him over the head with her purse. Throughout his career, Arte appeared in many other series, such as Bewitched, The Dick Van Dyke Show, Lost in Space, The Dukes of Hazzard, and Murder, She Wrote. He also began doing extensive voice work for cartoons, performing characters in series such as the Scooby-Doo series and Scooby-Doo TV movies, The Smurfs, and Animaniacs. In 1997, Arte returned to Broadway 40 years after his performance in No Time for Sergeants to appear for a time in the musical Candide, playing several different roles a night. But that's it for this week. Thanks for listening, and remember to take Andy's advice and go out there and act like somebody.
Thank you, Randy. That was very interesting. If you want to make sure you don't miss any of all the great Mayberry stuff Randy is doing online, send him an email at turnersgrade@gmail.com, and he'll make sure you don't miss out. turnersgrade@gmail.com. Thanks again, Randy. Great report. I didn't know all that about Artie Johnson. I did find out because he got me thinking. Artie's his dad's name was Abraham Lincoln Johnson. So he's named after presidents all over the place, his dad. So anyway, I don't know if that's just a little trivia tidbit for you there. Folks, I hope you have enjoyed this. The folks here on the live show, I appreciate them being here when I'm doing this live. We'd love to have you join us on Monday nights. If you head over to live.2chairsnowaiting.com at 8 p.m. Eastern time, we gather. There's 20 so folks in there right now, and they've been talking and enjoying themselves and visiting with one another. We'd love to have you be a part of that as well. Just love to hear from you. I'd love for you to give me a call or something. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415, or you can email me at floyd@imavery.com. Love to hear from you. If you're going to come to the meetups, either one of them, the Two Chairs No Waiting meetup here in Huntsville, which is limited in space, so we need to know how many are coming, or if you're coming to the Mayberry meetup in Mount Airy, North Carolina, please fill out the online forms. I'll try to put links to that in the show notes as well. So, folks, have a great evening, a great week, and we'll see you next time right here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody. Okay, hold on just a second. I am going to record this separately. Boom. All right, so we are back. This is a special report. Special report. Boom, 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 boom. Wait. So this is for our live crew that's here watching live with us. And this is also going to be for our patrons. So, folks over on Facebook, I'm going to have to say bye to you. So, y'all have a great week, and we'll see you next time. All right, so our live folks here on our feed, and these are going to be for our patrons. I ran across this last week, so this is a little treat for you guys, and I'm going to release it as a treat for our patrons. They'll be able to see it in the live feed like you guys are, but they won't see it. I'm going to separate it out so that there's another video of this as well. So here we go. This is something I ran across. Now, this is a video of a movie called Swing Parade. It's in 1946. Okay, 1946, and it is the Three Stooges. I assume it's the Three Stooges. I see a Stooge. So let's play this.
I'll have roast turkey.
Okay, so what you see here, I'm going to pause it. The suggestion here is, let me see if I can pop myself in here. I don't know. Oh, I didn't ever do it. So no. All right, so right up here, look at this. You see this person? I'm going to zoom in on him and put a window there. So you see the guy. There is speculation, and I'm going to turn the audio all the way down so we don't even hear the audio. But you see Mo is talking to the guy. You see the fella there in the background. That is Mr. Swamp. You see that? So I do believe that he definitely looks like the man that may have been in that Christmas in Connecticut. Remember that movie that we think was Mr. Swamp? So that could be him. Now, here's the long shot. Let's go back to it. And there you can see him. Let's go back into the zoom in now because he's smaller. That may be Mr. Swamp. There's no way to know for certain. I've zoomed in as much as we really dare to do, but just not sure if that's Mr. Swamp. This is, again, from 1946. The movie is Swing Parade, and there's a possibility that that is Mr. Swamp. So is that a Mr. Swamp sighting? Whoa, or not? There we go. So I don't know if that's Mr. Swamp or not. All right. So let's go back and see that one more time here. We'll start it back up. I've been meaning to show you this, guys, for a while, but see how he nods and everything? It could be him. but I just don't know. It's not clear to me that that's Mr. Schwamp. There's just no way to know. But it's speculated that that could be Mr. Schwamp from 1946. Now, that would have been, 14 years before the Andy Griffith Show. So if you add 14 years to this fellow, could it be? Have no way of knowing. And I don't know how we would ever find out either. I just think it's interesting that he's in the background there. So let's pause this. And I think I can do this. I'm going to turn off the main video feed, and we'll zoom this one in, make him bigger. Boom. So we'll go ahead and play it. And so there he is in the background. And see, it's just too blurry. I don't know what kind of a feed we would need to be able to see, to be able to try to tell if that's really him or not. But there's just no good way to tell. Starting it over here again. There he is. All right, that was my special super secret report that I wanted to give you guys that are here in our live show, and to my patrons who watch this. So just an extra little bit. See, there he is. I have no idea. Boy, it could be, or it could be just any other man that's got a similar facial structure, similar hair. His hairline's probably a little too far back. So yeah, pre-toupee, Mr. Schwamp, perhaps. I just don't know. But again, this was 14 years before the Andy Griffith Show. I just don't know. I just don't know if that's him or not. So, but I want to present it and let you guys try to figure out what you think. All right. So thanks to all the folks that might have checked that out. Folks that are live, just stick around another second and I'm going to let everybody else go. So thanks, patrons. All right. So we're back. All right. So I don't know what you guys in the chat room think. I saw somebody saying that his profile didn't look exactly right, and I can't disagree with that. It's the same problem I had with the Christmas in Connecticut. That movie, there's that speculation that man is Mr. Schwamp in that. Maybe I should do a comparison between this and that. And all the Stooges were in that movie, according to Emmett. I don't think I've seen that movie. So that was a new one to me. But yeah, that's a possibility. The ears look the same, Skinny Griffin said. Yeah, they it's just really hard to know because it's too general. I never stop the recording. Stop that. Okay. It's not a good enough picture. He doesn't move enough. We don't get a close enough picture. Somebody has to know. I agree, Goober. Goober Fife, I completely agree with that. All right, so definitely, guys, all you guys, anybody that is going to go to the Mayberry meetup, as I said, we've got the sign-up sheets for the 7th annual and for the Two Chairs meetup here in Huntsville. Again, I don't think there's going to be that many people at that event. If you're on Facebook, I know Goober is not on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, there's an event there. You can go, and there's a link in the listing down here that takes you to that sign-up sheet, this one. And it asks for your email address, your name, how many people are coming. Are you coming Friday? Are you going to eat? Are you coming Saturday? Are you going to eat? And I understand that we'll be chipping in to cover the cost of eating. So that's there. And then there's also the 7th annual Mayberry meetup as well. So we've got that in our Facebook events. If you go to Two Chairs No Waiting, or if you go to facebook.com/2chairs and click the events, you'll see both of these. And you can get to the link on this one too. This one I need to, oh, no, if that's where it is. Okay. It's there. I was thinking I didn't put it at the top, but it is right there. Registration form. And that'll let us know how many people are coming to both of these events so that we will have a good head count of who will be there. And I really do appreciate it because Jan was very frustrated. There you go. Frustrated at last year's event. So I see we've already had one. David, thank you very much for putting it in. David Winton He put in his. He's going to have 2. He's coming to the Two Chairs meetup. So that's 4 responses we've got over there, and we've had 14. So somebody added one over here too to the Joyce did. Jan's talking again. What?
You can even add very.
Very, very what? Oh, she was very, very, very frustrated. Yeah, because she didn't know how many people to order food for. Because at the Mayberry meetup, especially in Mount Airy, that one was really hard because there's a lot of people, and we don't know the actual number of people that are coming to that. So that makes it really difficult, because on Saturday night we try to order sub sandwiches and stuff for everybody so that we know. And it's very difficult to do when you don't have any idea how many people there are. It was a complete guess. I think we guessed pretty well. No, she said. We didn't guess very well. We had too much food. Too much. So, anyway. So, if we order too much food, it costs those of you that are there more, because we keep going around asking for more money. Because, we want to try to make it break even here. So, we want to do that. Let's see. Just make it a pitch in. Well, it is a pitch in, Emmett. Everybody pitches in on the food, but we have to order the day before how many subs we need to make, or how many from the subs place. So we have to order enough to feed 50 people, enough to feed 80 people, enough to feed 100 people. There's a big difference in those things. And I don't want to order 100 people worth of food if there's going to be 50 people there. You know what I'm saying? So, but you end up ordering more than you, because you don't want to run out. Right. So you end up running more. So Jan's telling me what to say. So she's back here telling me. So she's going to do a podcast about ordering food later, I think. No? Oh, you're not. She's not. No, she is not going to do. No. You're not going to do one? Are you sure? You're not? No? Jan says she's not doing the podcast. Okay. Not happening. She is not doing it. No. I'm not doing a podcast. No. Not going to happen. No. So there you go. All right. So let's see. Kathy, got to get that bubble wrap suit for Brisket. Yeah, we do. We need to check on that for Briscoe. See if we can get a suit of bubble wrap for him, and we can make sure he's okay there. That would be good. That would be kind of funny. Do they make those? We should be able to make one. Can we make a bubble wrap suit? We could probably do that. That would be pretty funny. All right, guys. Hey, I am out of here. I believe this is enough for the night, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. You got a little bit of extra, a little extra bit there, and it'll be on our Patreon stuff as well. So if you're one of our patrons, I appreciate it. I'd love to have you be one of my patrons, because it helps out. I thank all of you who are, and those of you that aren't, I appreciate you being here just the same. Thanks to being here. I hope everybody has a great Mayberry week, and we'll be back here on Two Chairs, No Waiting next week. You guys have a good week, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody. Good night.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles on the land and on the sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine.